Navajo.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Well, first of all, congratulations on an amazing performance at UFC Vegas 119, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
I was still reeling from the high.
Yeah. It's a crazy fight, and the whole process of fighting is a lot to take in, especially winning and going through the emotions of relief and also just enjoyment of everything that comes after it. And so, I feel like I've really sucked it all in.
Would you say that this is like the biggest win of your career so far?
Yeah, definitely. That was for me, I knew I was always good, but that fight was just against like someone I would consider a UFC household name. Everybody in the UFC industry knows Eon and all the things he's done and the guys he's beaten. He's been around for a long time. And I knew the win over him would sort of solidify myself as like a top contender. I felt like he would expose me to situations that I haven't been exposed to, which is exactly what happened. And I'm able to gain so much more valuable experience under my belt from just one fight alone.
Yeah, that's a good thing that you touched up on, which I actually wanted to talk about that. Yeah. One of my personal favorite parts about that fight was that we saw you go through adversity.
Yes.
Right? And I just think that a lot of people don't really realize how much cool it takes in that moment to just preserve this calmness. I really liked your reactions.
Yeah.
How you just kind of like managed to be in position and not just like completely freak out.
People start to notice this, but the ones who have been following my career for a long time, they know I'm very composure is like my talent. Like, I don't know if it's just in my personality, the way I am as a person, but I never are very comfortable in like very high stress situations. And when things are going wrong, I don't know what I credit that to. It's my breathing or just the way I am as a person, but I feel like I'm ready to fight in any situation. And I think when I follow a prospect, I'm always looking at where everybody looks at the big fancy things they do, highlight knockouts. This guy's a dominator, he's a machine. But when the going gets tough and they fight a crafty vet, you see it all the time. They crumble, they panic, and boom, they get knocked out or they let the win slip away. When everyone knows that they had the skills to beat that guy. It's just a maturity thing, and I feel like I've got the ability to not just play the hammer but play the nail. Sometimes you have to in a fight because it's a fight. Like they're gonna put you on your heels. They're not there to lay over for you. So I know I'd back myself because I know I can come out when things are going wrong, and that's why the ones that really understand my style and my sport, the sport we're in. Some people, really get behind me. They know I'm going to be a champion.
Right now, you are perhaps in my favorite part of an MMA athlete's career.
Yeah.
When they just kind of realize, when they're just starting to become a very serious contender and they kind of like realize the full extent of their power and their potential of it.
I remember my old teammate that I used to train with, Brad Riddell, who's also in the UFC. I remember the first thing he said when he made it to the UFC was, you almost have to be prepared on a skills level wise to be able to fight for the bout as soon as you arrive. Like if they threw you in there the next day, you have to be good enough to compete, at least compete, like not just get blown out the park. And that always stuck with me. And I was always thinking when I become available to the UFC that even though I might not have the experience, that I have the skill set to at least compete for the title or against the title holder. And that always stuck with me. And so when I come into the division, I knew that whether they fast track me or take me little by little, that I would be ready when the moment arrives. And that moment can arrive fast, You take 3 or 4 wins in the next year, you've already climbed up to top contender 2 or 3, and that can happen. That in my head, that's already become realization, is that I could be like 4 big wins against big names, ready for the title bout, And I'm only 28 years old, so I know that there's no rush. I remember when Carlos, who's now the champion, he come into the UFC at 30, you know, and now he's 36 or 35 now, and now he's only just got to the belt. So, you know, for me, there's no real rush to the title, and I can just take my time. But I do like to fight, and I like to fight often. I look after myself so I never get injured, and yeah, that's been a key for me in advancing in my career, is never stopping. I never stop training.
We're like in a very interesting part of your career,
Yeah.
but I kind of want to take a small step back, if we may,
Yeah.
and just talk to me how it all started. How did you end up in CKB, for
Yeah.
example, even before the UFC, right?
Yeah. So I got into training, and then I initially, just because I wasn't really doing much with my life, and I enjoyed fighting.
Sorry,
Because
how old were you?
I was about 18, and I signed up to a gym. Basically had my first fight at 19 and realized like this is what I wanted to do in my life. And I had no thought on anything in fighting. I didn't know how you could get paid. I just knew that I enjoyed it, and I thought, well, surely people get paid doing this. And slowly started to learn about all the fighters in New Zealand, and that's when I came across Israel Adesanya after about, I think, my first or second fight. Started to follow his career for the next few years, and basically tried to copy his style and sort of his flow. And when I become a national champion and won all the belts that they could to win here in New Zealand, I made the move to City Kickboxing, which is where I met Eugene. And yeah, under his tutelage, he just sort of guided me to the UFC and had me slowly train alongside Israel, which is something that I'm very fortunate to have, because you're never really allowed to do that, to just think you can just come off the street and come and train with you know, a world champion. But the good thing is that I had a respectable career of my own that had built up prior to that point. So, you know, there was like a small ground of respect there. And yeah, I just followed Israel's career. I didn't have to go through as long of a career to get to the UFC like Israel, because he had already gone through the potholes for me. And so they were able to fast track me in terms of my training and my career to the UFC, so I could come into the division very young. And I debuted at 26 in the UFC. So yeah, they've basically just done all the groundwork for me, and I've just sort of came in and had a more polished plate to get in that position. And yeah, I'm real fortunate. Basically, I modeled my whole career around Israel. I tried to steal everything from him and copy him. And some people that watch me, they can see a little bit of his style in my own.
What is your favorite part of Israel's game that you like to kind of take
Yeah,
on yourself?
a lot of his distance control, management, and just his flair, man. I think that's the one thing I could never copy, was his flair. People remember Israel for his latest fights, but I remember Israel in his prime, and there was just no one that could touch him.
Was he already a champion when you started working with him?
Yeah, so he had become a champion when I moved here and became close friends with him, but I already knew everything about him prior to him being a champion.
A lot of people probably don't have that luxury of
Yeah.
having to train with a world champion.
Yeah.
At such an early stage of your career.
Yeah.
relatively.
Yeah, and that's a thing that took me far, was I knew I was good, but there's always the level of unknown. It's hard to measure up if you've never actually measured against someone that's 50 plus kickbox world champion with 20 plus, that's traveled the world and has seen everything. I'd only stayed in New Zealand. And so when I met Israel and I started to spar him and started to train with high level training partners, because not only that, like City Kickboxing is an internationally known gym, so we get a lot of looks from all over the world come here, and that was everything I needed to really give myself confidence, because I knew if I could level up with them, that I was at the world stage, even though I never actually had fought anyone on that stage. And so they gave me a massive confidence boost getting to that UFC level.
Obviously, the recent news was that Israel has decided to leave
Yeah.
the gym, and he's kind of, as he put it, he's taking a more nomadic approach. Right?
Yeah.
Kind of, what was your reaction to it?
Yeah, I think honestly, I'm in a way sort of happy for him because, you know, he's been here for 15 or 20 years working out of this gym probably. And I think sometimes in life, fresh opportunity, new surroundings, I think it really can spark something in you, you know, I can almost reignite a fire. And I think that's what he's looking for, is just something like that. And yeah, honestly, I wish the best for him. I've messaged him saying, you know, all the best. And if you ever need me, let me know. And yeah, we're very close. And, you know, even though I'm sad and selfish for myself, you know, I want him around for me, but, you know, he's a world champion. And yeah, I think I'm looking forward to see what he does with his career and where he goes. And I'm hoping nothing but good things come his way, as well as, yeah, just big opportunities. And yeah, in sort of his fight career, I think this is nothing but a good thing. And everyone knows it at the gym, and everyone's wishing him well on his way, and nothing ever bad ever happened. And yeah, we're all just like, yeah, we just want to see what's next for him. He put New Zealand on the map. People associate New Zealand to, that's where Izzy's from, you know, and I've seen it. I'm from New Zealand, and it's like Israel Adesanya, and he's, you know, a Nigerian born Kiwi. So yeah, it's cool. It's massive. I know they have a massive mural of him here in Auckland, but yeah, if they could get a statue of him, that would be sick.
They should work on it. They should work on it.
Yeah.
And I just can kind of understand and relate in a way, because Georgia is also a very small country.
Yeah.
We're about the same in terms of size of the population.
Yeah. Just a small island, and the fact that we've produced just monsters from this gym, yeah, it goes to show. Probably the coaching and the passion of like the lineage that we have with the Barron Liga. You know, we're going way back. Like if you talk to my coach Eugene, what they talk about is that they're just the passion. They live and breathe fighting. And although we are not from a country that has a massive wrestling background or this and that, through passion alone and the fire and each individual's sort of hearts, they're able to cultivate like a massive set of skills everywhere. And you're kind of seeing that slowly amongst the whole Anzac region in Australia as well. I think people never really looked at our fighters because they don't have no like deep history or background, and everyone's just had the passion. And now we've caught up. Now we've caught up to everyone, and now we're like a real threat in the martial arts world in terms of nations.
Well, one champion, you kind of grew up alongside him, right? And now he's well on his way.
Yeah.
But you have another champion.
Yeah.
That's brought the title back to CKB in a different weight class.
Yeah. Carlos Ulberg. I think one of the first, there's a tournament here in New Zealand. We call it the King of the Ring 8-man tournament. Basically, everyone that has made it very far in martial arts has won this tournament. And it's an 8-man. You fight 3 times in one night. And basically, when I got into fighting, I started to look, what's the local bout to win? And it was the King of the Ring 8-man tournament. My trainer at the time in Wellington, he won the title at 62 kilos. And he started to sort of implant the seed in me that was what I needed to win to at least solidify myself as a top fighter in New Zealand. And the first tournament I actually watched was Carlos Ulberg, the 100 kg. He knocked everyone out and won the bout. I think he would have been 28 at the time, 27. After he won his first one, I got in the same tournament that he won his second one before he made the UFC. So I was a 21-year-old. I had about 6 amateur fights in my belt, and they pushed me to make my pro debut on the 8-man. And the way it married up, if I had won my first fight, I could have fought Carlos right before he made the UFC on 6 fights.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I was kind of scared because I was like, I felt like I was going to win my first 2 and meet him there. And yeah, I actually lost my first bout, but the guy that beat me, he made it to the final and got knocked out by Carlos. So yeah, that was right before he made the UFC. And he won the 8-man tournament, and I ended up losing that. But I came back 2 years later and won it the next 2 times. I won it twice after that, my second and third time competing in the tournament. And yeah, I've just, after I won that bout, I obviously become really good training partners with Carlos. I watched him make it to the UFC and yeah, train alongside him, watch him grow slowly. He took a very slow approach to the belt, but he made it there, and I saw him smash everyone all the way to the belt, and I always backed him. He flew me over to Miami to help him prepare for his fight with Yuri Prohaska. I knew Carlos's skill set and the style matchup. I knew Carlos would knock him out. Even prior to the knee injury, I just knew he'd get to him, and yeah, he pretty much did, landed his shot.
How is it now? Do you guys spar together? Because obviously you're in the same weight. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Has there been any talks about like, well, how it's all gonna play out?
Yeah. I think people always, I do a lot of live streaming myself. I stream on Twitch, playing the video games, and I like to interact with the fans and talk to them about fighting. And so that's a question that always gets thrown at me a lot. And yeah, I just think, obviously none of that happens until we get there, and so I never try to talk about it too much. I also don't know if Carlos will still fight around that time, maybe he might retire,
Or
maybe
class,
maybe move weight class. But as far as I know, that hasn't really come across the board in terms of my mind. But yeah, we just got to cross that line when it comes. But yeah, obviously we don't want to fight each other because we're good mates and all that. But yeah, it would be kind of cool to see the two best fighters in the world coming out of one country, one gym, New Zealand. And yeah, that's what I think about. It's just like looking at it. Because sometimes when I see people come against my gym and my country, and it just kind of ticks me off a little bit. And yeah, if we were to both be out of the gym, my first thing I would say, if we were to fight, I would say like, we're the best, we're the best. So
That's a cool way of looking.
yeah, and I mean, for us, it's just no hard feelings, it's just fighting. We can't all share the belt, so yeah, we'll just see what happens when it gets there.
But for those who don't know, the belt is pretty much, well, at least the replica of the belt.
Yeah.
Right at the end.
It's right here at the entrance.
Yeah,
So
and every time you walk through that door,
every time you
it,
see it. And yeah, man, that's why I'm always in the gym. I'm hustling. I'm making my way. I'm making my move, and yeah.
But just to kind of stick with 205 for a minute, sure, maybe the division today is not really what it used to be, right? Because at some point it was like the division of...
Yeah. I think when I was a kid, the only division I knew was light heavyweight, just because they had like Shogun Hua, Rampage, John Jones, who's was the best, Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, like all of the just legends, all that light heavyweight. And yeah, it went through like a downhill, but I feel like it's on a comeback right now. And so yeah, that's the division that I want to be the champion of, and I'm hoping that more skilled fighters keep coming in from different organizations. The young guys, I know there's a few other young guys in the division that are quite promising that people want me to fight as well. But I think when I think about the other prospects, I almost want them to come up, everyone to build up and then fight. Because if you beat them early, then everyone's like, well, here was no one. Anyway, he didn't beat anyone. So, it just makes no sense to fight other young guys. I think we all got to come up and meet each other at the top, which is more interesting for the fans.
Of course, yeah. You mentioned the greats, right, of the past. Just a fantasy scenario. Who would you who would be the dream matchup, the dream fight? And you cannot say John Jones because everyone says
Yeah. Other than John Jones, I'd probably say Alex Pereira would be a big one. Prior to everyone knowing who Alex was, I knew who Alex was. I followed his career in glory. Obviously, I come from a kickboxing background. He was fighting at middleweight. He fought some really top dogs, and I used to watch him when he was fighting Artem Vahiktov, who's a light heavyweight champ, and their sort of dynasty that they had going on when he was kickboxing. And yeah, I think just his previous past with Israel and the fact that he's still fighting, I think me and Carlos both would love that fight. But I think he's just at a different stage of his career. He's way older, and I thought he'd still be around, but yeah, I think he's going to be done by the time I get anywhere close to the belt.
Well, you actually have two newcomers to your weight class.
Yeah.
Rainier the Reader and my fellow countryman Roman Dolidze. Hypothetically, how do you see that matchup? Who you fancy?
I don't know. It's a good matchup. I've seen Roman fight at light heavy before, actually, and he won. So, yeah. But also Rainier the Reader was a former champion at light heavyweight and won. So, yeah, I really like the new matchups coming in because although they're middleweights coming to light heavy, they're very big names. And so to get big wins over them would be great. Yeah, I'm just hoping to match up with whoever, hey, man. Because it makes I'm more excited because with less fighters active or people match up, it's hard to get fights often. So if I can fight anyone, any of those guys, it'd be great.
You mentioned you're doing a lot of gaming.
Yeah, I game a lot. I play a lot of games. You guys can follow me on Twitch. I don't know if the time zones match up, but usually New Zealand night time is when I stream, and it just gives me a way to interact with the fans, and people can just sort of see that I'm just a normal person as well. There's a few people in the UFC that stream, and obviously I think Max Holloway streams a lot. But yeah, I just like to stream because it's most of the time I'm playing games anyway, so I might as well, kill two birds with one stone. And it also helped me get better on the microphone because I was also a shy person as well, and so to open myself up a bit more and become a lot more friendlier with the fans and be able to speak a bit more, it's good.
That's cool. What are your favorite games?
I like shooters a lot, and same as Rob, I like to play like a lot of like medieval, like Skyrim and stuff like that as well. So, yeah.
Play Witcher?
Yeah, I played The Witcher. Yeah,
Nice.
The Witcher's good is one of my favorite games. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you like the books as well? Have you read?
Nah, I haven't read the books, no. But I watched the TV shows and stuff like that. Yeah, Witcher's a good one. Yeah.
It's really, really bad compared to the books. Yeah, but actually one of the cool things that I wanted to talk to you about was you stole my walkout song. Basically, people usually ask me like, I don't fight, but they were like, if you were to fight, like what would you walk out to? And I always say that I would walk out to Luna.
Yeah.
So
Vegan. Yes, that's my favorite. Yeah, I've had that song as my walkout song since 2017.
Oh really?
Yeah. So
I'm stealing your song.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've people always ask me what my song is, and I've had the same one since I was about 19 was when I first walked out to it. So it's been about almost 10 years walking out the same song. Everyone always like, are you gonna change it? And I was like, nah, that's gonna be my theme song. If it's original, no one has it, and yeah, it just gets me amped up, gets everyone amped up. It's like a Viking song. I'm not like Norwegian or anything like that, but yeah, I really enjoyed the Viking TV show, and that was where I stole it off years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, every time I come out there, it gets me amped, and I think it has like a good meaning to it as well. I think I remember looking it up, the deeper meaning of what that song means, and yeah, it's mad.
Well, Navajo Stirling, thank you so
Thank
very
you.
much. It was an amazing chat.
Thank you so much.
Get to do that in the future as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Best of luck.
Thanks.